Hey, hello YouTubers. Hey, welcome back to my channel, The Virginia Bushcrafter. As you know, this is the channel where we continue to learn and practice the skills of bushcrafting, prepping, and survival for the wilderness. Now, with that said, we know there bushcrafting, prepping, and survival, the tasks and the skills are endless. It's a journey. But we know they all start off with shelter, fire, water, food, first aid, signaling, navigation, cutting tools, on and on and on and on. So today I want to talk to you about a specific tool, and of course it's a knife. And I think this knife serves many purposes. We know knives have certain applications. But today I want to talk about a knife that is produced or made by SOG. Now, I've known SOG to be known as Special Operations Group, but also Studies and Observation Group. So I'm going to talk about this SOG. Now, this is a SOG Gambit. Gambit, SOG Gambit. This is a fixed blade that it originated in Southeast Asia, and it was designed based on the Karamit knife. Now, the Karamit design is basically from the sickle. If you guys remember, the sickle has a short stick that has a curve on it, and it's used for cutting grass, doing agriculture things. You can even plant rice with it, cut grass. A lot of things you can do with the sickle. I know I used it a lot when I was much younger. But this is the SOG Gambit, which is based off the design of a Karamit, and the Karamit knife is based off the design of a sickle. So let me give you the dimensions of this SOG Gambit. From the toe to the heel, it is 7.28 inches. The blade length overall is 2.6 inches, which is great because in my jurisdiction, 3 inches is the limit for concealed carrying a knife. Anything over 3 inches in my jurisdiction must be open carry. So this is great. And I like that it has a satin polish. And it's a good blade. This blade is from 7CR17 MOV. Now that's a mouth full of letters and numbers. So what does 17CR MOV really mean? Well, it's basically used in survival knives or other budget knives. Now, it's really a modification of the 440A steel. Basically, it has an added vanadium in it, which to increase the wear resistance. So that's basically what the 7CR17 MOV is. It's a modified 440A steel, added vanadium. Now, the good thing about this knife is that the 7CR17 MOV, it is hard. It's a hard steel due to its high carbon and chromium. So it's very hard and it is tough. It's durable and it can withstand a lot of hard use. And again, corrosion resistant. Now, when it comes to sharpening this knife, it's easy to sharpen. It's very easy to sharpen, but it loses its sharpness easier than other steels. So yeah, it requires a little bit more maintenance, and that's with any carbon steel blade. Now, the quality of this blade It's a mid-range steel that's softer than higher end steel, but that's fine because it has a Rockwell hardness of 54-58. Now, Rockwell hardness, what does that really mean? Well, Rockwell hardness is a measurement. It's a measurement of the toughness that's going to resist or prevent deformation or indentions. So, you know, are you going to get a chip in it? Are you going to get some type of indentation? With the Rockwell hardness of 54-8, I don't think you're going to get chips or any indentations unless you misuse the knife. Now, I've seen many guys take the knife and stick it in wood and take it left to right, you know, checking out the tensile strength. Well, for me, that's not applicable in a knife, not for me. If you use the knife for its purpose. So let's go on now with the handle material. You always want a knife that feels comfortable in your hand. And this material is glass reinforced nylon, and it does have some nice texture on it. This knife weighs 2.8 ounces, not very heavy. You won't even notice that you're carrying it. And so another good thing about it, when you speak of carrying it, it has a nice hard nylon sheath, and this sheath has a 360 degrees rotation, which means you can wear it vertical inside the appendix carry. You can wear it cross carry, scout carry. You can even use it as a neck knife. And it even has a drain hole. It has a drain hole here. And you can lash things to the sheath if you want to wear neck knife, you know. So it's a pretty good knife so far. I like it. It's going to go into the bush with me. But let's go on and talk about some of the characteristics of the SOG Gambit. Now, with the SOG Gambit, two tactical grip positions, something that I really like. It has a forward grip. Just have my pinky finger in here. Hand on the jimping. Forward grip. It also, the reverse grip is very good. Nice contour. Put your index finger in here. Very, very nice. Now, again, so the finger fits through this ring when holding the knife in the reverse grip. Now, one thing that I would add, if I was the engineer of this knife, I would have added jimping here, right here. I would have had jimping, so that when I hold it in reverse grip, my thumb would be in contact with the jimping. Also, carrying in a forward position, you see there is jimping here. Great. But I would add jimping on the back, on the curved portion of the spine. So if I wanted to do some very technical or cutting, very precise cutting, I would have jimping here to do that. But otherwise, it's great. And another good thing is ambidextrous. Left hand, just as great as the right. Now, this SOG Gambit is basically for survival. And of course, the first thing we think, self-defense or combat, covert operation, but it also has outdoor uses for, again, bushcrafting, camping, fishing, hunting, even backpacking. But it is great in an emergency situation. Emergency responders use a sheep's foot blade to cut through seat belts and resistance. This is going to cut through seat belts really easy because the spine is dull and it's not going to cut through anything other than what you intend to cut through. If you are sailing, if you're a sailor use a sheep foot blade to cut through line, seat belts, and ropes to avoid piercing the sail or any other equipment. So a sailor, again, they're going to use it to cut through line, rigging, small ropes without piercing other equipment. That is the great thing about the sheep's foot. You're not going to pierce unwanted objects. As a daily carry, it's great because you can actually do carving. You can do slicing. You can do cutting. You can, cut a rope or for opening boxes. So this has a great utility for everyday use, everyday tasks. Fantastic. And of course, when it comes to the kitchen, this is the style that many chefs use. Now, the edge itself, this is a straight edge. Now, the blade shape is known as a sheep's foot because it is downward motion. It has a high flat grind here, and then it has a bevel change into a hollow grind, which is great for slicing. So again, if you take your knife and any object and you place it over, and if you can see any space between this object and the blade, that's a great indication that it is a hollow grind. So again, high flat grind, hollow ground because this has been grinded out, and you have your cutting edge or your micro edge. So, and also it's a great hook blade. Again, slashing. You can even punch with this. With this fingering, you can punch. You can use just for hammering, a hammering motion, tearing, ripping, or even if there's a branch that you need to hook a branch. If this is a branch, you can actually just hook the branch and pull it downward. But I think, again, the sheep's foot is to avoid piercing unwanted material objects. However, in a combat situation, you can still pierce with this knife. I think this is a great knife, and it's a budget-friendly knife. But let's go on and talk about this sheep's foot blade. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, this sheep's foot blade is basically to cut and slice without the risk of accidentally piercing or nicking something. So the blade design includes, again, a straight edge and a dull curved back spine that creates a false point. Again, this is to prevent you from piercing unwanted materials. Now, the sheepfoot blade, it got its name actually from the shape of the point resembling the hoof of a sheep. So with a distinct flat, straight line cutting edge and rounded point, this is well suited to giving you a clean cut, especially on a flat surface. So the blunt rounded tip is designed again to avoid unwanted material. This is a very, very good knife. I like it a lot. Again, it's budget friendly. Again, if I could add anything to it, it would be jimping here for precision work and jimping on the finger ring for the reverse grip. But it's great as it is. But as we know that a sharp knife is a safe knife and a dull knife is a dangerous knife. So let's take a look at the paper test. Okay, right out of the package, let's see how well it cuts. I'm interested to see myself. I think that's pretty good, straight out of the box, out of the package. Pretty good, I think so. All right, great. I think there's one thing I can say about that. Getting used to the very technique of using the tip of this knife. But other than that, it's very well sharpened. I think it's ready to go out of the box. But I just wanted to bring this knife to your attention, guys. This is a great knife to use in the bush. Great for camping, any outdoor activity. An EDC defensive knife. Again, with this finger ring, it's going to be very difficult to disarm the user. Again, reverse grip. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, guys. Again, when it comes to bushcrafting, prepping, and survival into the wilderness, here's another tool. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Again, this is the SOG Gambit. Take care and stay safe.